Hello everyone, I'm Bill Hammond and I actually paid to see this, and welcome back to this year's Oscar Blitz, where I break down every category at the 97th Academy Awards. Tonight, we have one of the most important contests of the entire ceremony, Original Screenplay. No movie can happen without a script and a story, and the five nominees all have something incredible to offer, so let's not waste any time and get to the nominees. Anora, Sean Baker. Baker has made a name for himself with films that deal with sex workers, treating his subjects with empathy but never sparing the harsher details. This is what earned him praise for previous works like Tangerine, The Florida Project, and Red Rocket. But with Anora, he takes things a couple steps beyond. First, while this is a serious drama, there's a lot more comedy in the proceedings than before, particularly with how Annie interacts with Igor and the other goons as well as Vanya's family. Second, there's a much bigger emphasis on a true story arc, as Anora is structured like a Cinderella story, only including what happens after the dream of the ball is taken away. Sometimes things drag a bit, and far too much time is spent on the rival stripper who likes to antagonize Annie, but on the whole, this is some powerful stuff. The Brutalist, Brady Corbet and Mona Fastvold. If there's one thing you can say about The Brutalist, it's that it's thorough. Perhaps too thorough. Standing at 3.5 hours, the film goes to great lengths to show the dark side of the American dream as seen through the eyes of immigrants. But I think Corbet and Fastvold overdid it just a bit. I don't mind long movies, you should take as much time as necessary to tell the story properly. What I'm saying is that the point still gets across if you cut a half hour from this picture. Also, given all the time spent, there are some surprising elements that were left hanging. Like, when and why the mute Zofia decides to finally start talking again. Further, the climax of the film is muddied by a gratuitous moment of pure cruelty that doesn't really serve the characters, and after so long, the ending is left intentionally opaque, in contrast to all the explicit stuff we endured up to that point. The Brutalist is fantastic on a lot of levels, but the script is arguably the weakest element. A Real Pain, Jesse Eisenberg. Hilarious, dramatic, intimate, confusing, and shockingly realistic, Jesse Eisenberg's sophomore feature as a writer and director manages the almost impossible task of being everything to everyone, much like the dynamic of its two lead characters. What could so easily have been considered good enough as an odd couple road trip movie, Eisenberg infuses every scene with good humor and pathos, leaning into the nuances and contradictions that come with the grieving process, and it's amazing how often Benji's antics strike unexpected chords. From learning about Aloge's conversion to Judaism, to the genuine gratitude from tour guide James about his in-your-face but still constructive criticism, the script keeps finding ways to redeem Benji through his behavior. But Eisenberg saves the best line for himself, summing up the guilt and uncertainty we all have in processing our trauma when David finally breaks and vents his frustrations to the group. "My pain is unexceptional, so I don't feel the need to burden everyone with it." That might be the most perfect sentence of 2024 cinema. September 5th, Moritz Binder, Tim Feldbaum, and Alex David. What makes September 5th work so well as a film is in the editing, which compresses the 22-hour timeline to 95 minutes, and the script, which makes the terrorist attack at the Munich Olympics feel like it's unfolding in real time. What makes it work especially for me is because this is my industry, and I've experienced these sort of all-hands-on-deck moments. I've spent significant chunks of my career working in live television, sports, active newsrooms, and control rooms, and let me tell you, when the big news breaks, this is pretty much how it plays out. There are discussions in hallways about how to cover it. Everything else kinda gets put on hold for the sake of chipping into the overall delivery. And yes, there are even light moments where the crew cracks jokes and talks trash because it's just how we ease the stress of the moment. The Substance, Coralie Farja. What Farja is able to do in The Substance is nothing short of miraculous. Combining body horror, science fiction, and comedy in a way that's culturally relevant and borderline profound, that's amazing enough on its own. But the fact that she does it with intentionally obvious and obtuse dialogue is next level. I mean, for God's sake, she has Dennis Quaid say that tired, sexist line about how women should smile more, while Margaret Qualley's teeth are literally falling out. I mean, way to turn the trope on its head. There's a simplistic, almost trollish nature to everything, and it's a huge part of the fun. From every time we hear "you are one" over the phone, to the actual black fly in Elizabeth's Chardonnay that demonstrates the difference between irony and stuff that just plain sucks. If there's one quibble I'd have, I would have liked a little more explanation of how Elizabeth and Sue have a different consciousness, but given the shady nature of the company selling the substance, you get the feeling that it's kind of part of the joke, like even they don't know, but they don't care. So, after all that, here's how I rank these scripts. In 5th place is The Brutalist, which is really good, don't get me wrong, but it is too long for the story it's trying to tell. From there, it's all a matter of degrees. In 4th place, I put Anora, 3rd place goes to September 5th, 2nd is The Substance, and if I had an actual vote, it would go to A Real Pain, which made me laugh and cry in equal measure, surprising me at every turn with just how well Jesse Eisenberg understands this particular aspect of the human condition. What can you say? That's all I've got for now, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And be sure to like and subscribe to the channel to keep up with the Blitz in video form, and make sure to bookmark actuallypaid.com for all the coverage in print. I'll be back next week with another video taking on the makeup and hairstyling competition, something I clearly know so much about. I hope you'll all tune in then. Until next time, everyone, I'm Bill Hammond. I actually paid to see this.
This is the BTRP Media Network.